Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. In today's video, we got this 2024 Ford F-350 Super Duty in our shop. We're gonna be doing full front end paint protection film on it. And in this video, I'm gonna take you through how I would do a bulk PPF install on the hood. I have not done a video on the hood since Ford redesigned the Super Duty hood like this, so it's gonna be a little challenging, especially when we got these Super Duty letters over here that we're gonna have to deal with, but we're gonna get it done. I'll show you how. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so right now we're gonna get going on this hood. Normally what I would do is I would tack down the back corner on the driver's side, go to the passenger side, stretch that out, and then stretch out the front corners. Because of these sharp valleys over here, I want to get these valleys laid down first before I do any stretching. So what I'm going to do is I have no tension on the film. The film's just nicely laying down in there. I'm going to pull the film up just a little bit. I'm going to spray my chalk solution in behind the film. And I'm going to squeegee that valley down, because that valley, if we don't get that down, that's going to cause a lot of issues. And then I'm just going to squeegee down right along this back edge. Squeegee that down just for insurance. That's not gonna lift. Now we'll come over here to the driver's side. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Now, if we keep an eye across the front, as I stretch, those fingers are gonna disappear. There we go, look at that. All those fingers are gone, minus this little one here, but that's gonna be so minor to deal with. Now, what I'm gonna do is we are gonna have to figure out how we wanna get our solution out. Solution's all gonna have to come from the back to the front, because in the beginning of the video, we tacked down the back, so we can't push the slip solution out. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna get on my stool over here or my step ladder, and I'm gonna start pulling all the solution down, and I'm gonna work my way over, right over here till this ridge. As you can see right along over here, this is gonna require a bit of finessing to get that down. So let's get to it. Good. Okay, so now all I'm doing right now is just doing my best to push as much of the air out from under the PPF as possible. The goal is to get the PPF to lay down as close to perfect without any air underneath the film before you start squeegeeing. So I'm just gonna do one squeegee stroke down the middle, and then just gonna overlap my squeegee strokes and pull all that solution towards the front. Okay, now when I'm getting over here to this valley, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use two hands, because I wanna make sure that the squeegee is properly fitting in that valley. Can't think of the word at this exact moment, but and then I'm gonna go over it multiple times, because like I've said, those valleys, they're traps for moisture. There we go. Now we're gonna work on this part. So as you can see, we do have some fingers over here, but if I take and stretch this out and tack this to the fender, I can get those fingers to disappear and to lay down flat, which is exactly what we want. Minor one right here. All I'm gonna do is just pull the film up. And I'm just gonna give it a light stretch, get that into place. And then we got this right over here in the back. All I'm gonna do is just lift this up. And I'm just gonna pull that tight. So now we can come back up over here and we can start pulling all of that slip solution down from the back towards the front. Just like so. That is good. There we go. Now what we want to do is we're going to put more slip solution over the top of the letters for last. So that's going to take a lot of time to get that down properly. So I'm going to basically cut a line right down over here to the corner of this hood. And we're going to push this solution out. Because of how much tension's on the film, you might have to try and find a way for that solution to leave. So whatever opening you can find towards the middle or even towards the corner of the hood, that's what you want. Okay, that's good. Now we can do the passenger side. Ready? I'm going to start by pushing this air out. Okay, so now what I want to do, now that we're on the passenger side, is I need to get rid of all this built up air. So this air has to find a way out from under the film. So we're going to push it down over the Super Duty letters. And then I'm going to take the palm of my hand and I'm going to push this down in this valley, and some finessing over here that we need to do to make this go away, but that worked perfectly. Now I can come across the back here and I continue to squeegee everything forward. Always overlapping squeegee strokes. Now we'll worry about this valley again. Move my chair a little bit. Go. That's good. Now we need to get the air out from underneath the film over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lift the PPF up off the side and going to create an exit over here for all this air to go out. There we go. Okay, now we're going to start getting all this solution out. hard time finding an exit right here for this. Now we're just want to be careful we're not lifting up film that we've squeegeed down. So we got that down now. I'm actually gonna have to lift this up and put more slip solution underneath the film, just because there are some air pockets there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lift the film here. Spray that slip solution in there. And I'm just doing some insurance passes right now. Make sure the PPF is down. There we go, that is good. Now everything else here can be squeegeed out. Okay. That's absolutely perfect right there. Now, last thing we can do is I just want to get this down a little bit right there. Just some very minor fingers, but if you don't get them down, they become major fingers over time. Now, what we can do is we can finish off the front of the hood, which is going to be probably the most time-consuming part of this installation. Okay, now that we have about 80% of the hood done, the last thing we need to do is get down the front. So, like I did on the driver's side, I'm just pushing or pulling all that slip solution down to the front where I can find a way, or where I can find a place for the solution to exit. There we go. We're gonna leave this open a little bit. Now begins the fun part of getting the letters down. So I'm just gonna make sure all of our solution, or all of the film, is down just above the letters. So I like to leave maybe about 1 inch or 2 of paint protection film, not squeegee, down right above these letters. And we're gonna get rid of this squeegee for now, and we're gonna use a much smaller one. So the squeegee I'm using now is just this blue one. It's basically the same as the pink one, it's just much smaller, but it has a nice rounded corner, which is gonna make getting these letters down a whole lot easier. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna spray some slip solution on top of the film. Whoa. If you're wondering what I'm using to spray my slip solution, it is the True Spray keg system. I will link that along with the squeegees in the description below. But right now, actually we got the D over here is actually sticking a little bit. And we got a hair underneath the film. Not anymore, good. So we're gonna start over here at the S, and we're gonna work our way over to the Y. What I'm gonna do, before I do any squeegeeing around here, I'm gonna use my finger as a squeegee, and my hand, to push the PPF into place. Because there's so much tension across the front of the hood with the film, it's actually pretty easy to get the film to lay down in the letters. Now, obviously, I am gonna follow through with the squeegee, but for now, let's take care of the majority of this just with our hands. Actually, our hair is actually still underneath the film. Got a couple pieces there, which is not good. So what I'm gonna do, seeing as those hairs are moving around quite easily, I'm actually gonna take lift the film up, and I'm gonna hit it with some serious pressure. See if I can't flush those hairs out. Seem to work over here. Oh. Got most of them out. Got one tiny one left. There we go. No. So the S looks good to me. Doesn't look like there's any solution left behind in the S. Now we're gonna work at getting the U down. So you wanna take and pull that moisture and those air pockets down. This can be a very, very tedious, time-consuming process to get these letters down. So if you've become really, really proficient at this, make sure that you're charging accordingly for your services when you're offering this, because the majority of people are just gonna pre-cut or just gonna trim these letters out. Dry off the U and the P to make sure that we don't have any air pockets left behind. If you have the odd moisture bubble, that's fine. Those you can always come back and pop, but if there's big air pockets, those unfortunately will not, it'll be very hard to pop those and get those down. So I'm gonna get more water across the letters just so that my hands and the squeegee are gliding properly. Now we're on to the E. So I'm gonna start over here at the top. I'm gonna work this down. Got it all now. Got one bubble right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and push that bubble over into the R. Looks like that successfully worked. That's good. Now we're going to get this R down. Oh, popped up the E again. That's good. Now we're actually just going to readjust the camera for the duty, so bear with us for 1 second. Okay, now you can get down and you can move. That good? Okay. Okay, now let's start getting the duty down. So making sure that everything is down properly right after. I think we got it all. So I'm just gonna dry these letters off. Make sure all the air is out, and it looks like it is. Got one minor one right here on the D. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna push this out between the D and the R carefully to make sure that what we can do is come and just pull that down, because it was right over here and over here. I don't want to lift up anything that's already been down for a while. So let's just find the closest exit for it, and that would have been right out to the side, and then squeegee that down. So now that that is down, you just want to inspect each letter thoroughly. One minor one here on the S. Actually, no, that's a lighting issue. We'll do a close-up of it before the end of the video. Okay, now what we can do is we can get the rest of the paint protection film down across the front of the hood. So let's do that. If you want to come down, this part you don't need to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to trim the paint protection film right along the front, and then I'm going to get my tack solution underneath the film, squeegee it down, and then that's basically going to be the end of it. Ready? Okay, so now I'm going to trim off a bunch of the excess PPF across the front of the hood. Make sure you got enough of your blades sticking out. What we are going to do now is I'm going to take my tack solution and my squeegee. Just going to get some solution right on top of the film so the squeegee glides properly. And we're going to start right over here. We're going to pull our film up. And we're going to flush out all this slip solution. There we go. Now we're going to come back over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my squeegee and we're going to squeegee that film content, as well as check out our membership side of our channel where you're going to have exclusive content uploaded on a weekly basis.